brief biographical sketch of Madeline Chang. She has been affiliated with the hospitality industry practically all her life. In the airline industry before joining the Kahala Hilton, now called Kahala Resort. Before joining the housekeeping department, Madeline worked as administrative assistant to the general manager, then moved to the position of senior assistant manager, then on to executive housekeeper of the Kahala Hilton. She also worked in the same capacity at the Sheraton Princess Kailani and Sheraton Moana Surfrider. She currently is the director of housekeeping at Aston Waikiki Sunset and is the liaison with the laundry operations of Aston Hotels and Resorts. She received her BA in Business Administration and Computer Science from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and also associate degree in Secretarial Science at Honolulu Business College. She holds several professional achievements, such as the State of Hawaii Department of Education Vocational Program Trainer, University of Hawaii Safety Trainer, and also was featured columnist with Host Lodging and Restaurant News. Most recently, she was awarded by the parent company of Aston Hotels and Resorts, Interval Leisure Group's Best of the Best Crystal J Award winner, along with 3 other Aston employees. She maintains a very busy schedule, being involved with International Executive Housekeepers Association Hawaii chapter, having served in various officer capacities as well as chairing the several communities throughout her 26 years with IEHA. She has served as chairman and vice chairman and is currently the secretary of Honolulu Boys Choir, a chartered member of the International Association of Administrative Professionals, Oahu chapter. She currently is the vice president of the Hawaii division of IAAP. She says her therapy is being Haumana, student of Halau Kauai Hoa, studying hula and Hawaiian language and arts, and is part of the competition Halau. Today her presentation is on succession planning, knowing when to lead and when to follow. It is with great pleasure that we welcome Ms. Madeline Chang.
Thank you, Pauline. That was wonderful. Yes, my therapy is hula, something different from housekeeping.
Yes.
I try to go to it as much as I can, but there are times when the job takes precedence. Today we're going to talk about succession planning. What is succession planning? Why is it important? Every day of our lives, in some way or another, we experience the opportunity to lead and to follow. In order for each of us to be successful in our professional and personal lives, it is essential that we recognize the qualities of a good leader to be an active, contributing member of the team. James C. Maxwell, I took the book, and this is one of his indispensable qualities. It's Relationships 101. Thank you, Rose. He has 21 indispensable qualities of a leader. This is a terrific book because the chapters are short, easy to read, and there are some short stories. They highlight each characteristic and things the individual can do to cultivate those qualities. The 21 are on the screen, however, because of the limited time, I'm just going to highlight a few of them, which I feel is important. The first one I'd like to cover is charisma. Most people think charisma is something mystical. almost indefinable, and they think it's a quality that comes at birth. No. Charisma can be developed. To do that, you need to have the following. Love life. As Rose said, she's going, if she does take her next step to heaven, she's going to know that she enjoyed her life on earth. Love life. Put a 10 on everyone's head. Do that now. And expect them to do the best. Never look at a person that perhaps they don't know what they're doing. Give them a 10. Because it's going to be a quality that will surprise you. Give people hope. If you give a person hope, they will be forever grateful. Share yourself. People love leaders who share themselves and their life journeys. And Rose has done a lot for us on her life journeys. Share your personal journey with them, including your resources. Always good to share your resources. It's not, oh, it's my thing, it's my stuff, I'm not going to share it. Share it. That is important. That's your charisma. Commitment. This word has been used over and over again in all of our personal and professional lives. Commitment. What is commitment? It separates the doers from the dreamers. To each person, it needs something different. To the boxer, getting off the mat one time more than being knocked down. To the missionary, saying goodbye to your own comfort to make life better for others. To the leader, it's all that and more, because everyone you lead is depending on you. If you want to be an effective leader, you have to be committed. True commitment inspires and attracts people. It shows that you have a conviction. Commitment starts in the heart. Some people would want everything to be perfect before they're willing to commit. I have a few friends like that who says, what's in it for me? What am I going to gain from it? It's what you put in that will make you gain from it. Commitment is tested by your actions. If you don't think anyone's watching you, wrong, they are. When you commit to life being an officer, you're being watched. Commitment opens the door to achievement. As a leader, you'll face plenty of obstacles and opposition. Be ready. Sometimes you have to let it roll off and move on. Because not every problem can be fixed. Communication. Without it, you travel alone. Don't you know that? Nobody tells you what's happening in your office. All of a sudden, the boss is calling you and saying, what happened about this? But again, no. Communication with your staff, you have no idea. I depend on my people. I take the days off. I depend on Monday that they tell me what happened over the weekend. Because that is where you begin your day on a Monday after your days off. Communication. Developing excellent communication skills is absolutely essential to an effective leader. The thing about communication is that people will not follow you if you don't know what you want and where you're going. You can be a more effective communicator if you follow 4 basic rules. 1, simplify your message. The way you talk is the way you write. Don't make it too difficult to understand the written language. Simplify your message. Keep the message simple. 2, see the person. As you communicate with the person, is it a group? Is it an individual? Take the time to figure out what the message should be. Effective communication focuses on whom you're delivering it to, not what you're saying. We all have a lot of things in our chest, we want to say it. But sometimes, if it doesn't get delivered properly, you don't get the same result. Show the truth. Credibility precedes great communication. There are 2 ways to convey credibility. 1 is believe in what you say. Oh, don't say it at all. 2, live what you say. There's no greater credibility than conviction on your own. The fourth is to seek a response. Always make sure you got a response. And it's not the kind of response that sometimes we do with our peers, like, what did I say? Encourage them to say it in their own words. I said that, what did I say? How turned out that will be. They're not listening. At this point, they hope you never communicate with them again. Because they're so fearful of what you said and it's not registered. Give them an opportunity to explain it in their own words. Competence. If you build it, they will come, definitely. We all admire people who display a high level of professionalism. But the truth is, if you don't have to be a Bill Gates, definitely not. But to excel in this area, if you want to cultivate the quality, show up every day. All things come to him who waits. Remember that. Keep improving. Rose had a good idea. Invest in yourself. There is no age limit to investing in yourself. Even when you retire, invest in yourself. There are skills you can still do even through your retirement years. Invest in yourself, but keep learning, growing, and improving. Follow through with excellence. That excellence that Pauline mentioned was one of my goals when I started with Aspen. I had read Interval International, which is our parent company, had this Best of the Best award. I have just made 10 years with the company on July 7th. And I saw the criteria. I read the criteria and I said, oh my gosh, I'm not even there yet. So I had to work. I had to work very hard to be an all-around good leader to my people, also to my peers, my department heads. I had to show them that I can do the work and then some. So follow through with your excellence. Perform at a high level is always your choice. As leaders, we expect our people to follow through when we hand them something. They expect that from us as well. As they say, walk the talk. You say something, you make a promise, follow through. Accomplish more than is expected, and that's what I think was the key to me getting this award. Accomplishing more than was expected, but I didn't know I was doing it. I had no idea I was doing it. It just came easy because of my educational background and wanting to learn and getting involved in seminars and going to all these different places, getting involved in organizations. IEHA is, it used to be National Secretaries Association, but we elevated our standards. We are now office managers. We're leaders in our organizations. We don't necessarily serve coffee to the boss and do his dictation anymore. He does his own typing. We take care of the big stuff, the budgets, the files, making sure everything is coming together. So all he has to do is go out the door, make sure the information is there for his corporate meeting. So IAAP was my stepping stone when I first got out of school and went to the secretary. So I look at that as I was able to invest in myself. That was my beginning, and then I wanted more. So my son came back from college and said, Mom, it's your turn. So between 1990 and 2002, I went to the University of Hawaii night after night after night and achieved my bachelor's. While working at the Sheraton Moana Surfrider full time. So my days were very busy. I had no personal life, but I wanted to do that. And I'm very proud that I did because it helped to open more doors for me. So that's what you have to do. You all have that in you. It may not be my path, but it's something that I think if you're thinking about going back to college or doing something more with your education, do it. The time is right. Indispensable qualities: listening. To connect with their hearts, use your ears. Listening. A good leader encourages followers to tell them what he needs to know, not what he wants to hear. Sure, you want to hear everything was fine. I went through that a couple of weeks ago. Everything was fine over the weekend. Well, lo and behold, it wasn't. They just handled it, but I needed to know what happened. And so it's not what I want to hear, it's what they need to tell me. Whether it's been resolved or not, it's good to be in the picture. There are a lot of voices clamoring out there for your attention. As you think about how to spend your listening time, keep in mind that you have two purposes. One, to connect with people, and the second, to learn. You are constantly learning. You don't know everything as an indispensable leader. You learn everything. And if you cannot, in your mind right now, think of something you learned yesterday, then you're failing, because every day you can think of something you learned for that one day, either through an associate or something you saw, like a cleaning technique that you saw and you went, ding, that's a learning thing. Always look, be out there, not just to visit with your staff, but be aware of something you will pick up. You will. Relationships, if you get along, they'll go along. That is so important. That's the key. I am not successful today without the relationships I've developed through the years. I am there for my people, and I know that they know that. I will go the 110% if they need me to do it, because I appreciate what they do, and I also have a passion for the job. That's what you need. You need that passion. You need to understand what you're doing, what is expected of you as a leader, and enjoy what you're doing. The first quality, of course, of a leader is the ability to understand how people think. We're in a diverse culture. 99.99% of my people are from the Philippines. I have grown up with people from the Philippines, being a local resident of the state of Hawaii. I went to school with some of them, even college with some of them. So I understand sometimes their dialect and mine doesn't match. But try to reach deep, because you can find the answers to what they're trying to say. They like to feel special. They want a better tomorrow. Many of them come to work and hope today would be better than yesterday. They desire direction. They do. They're selfish, so speak to their needs first. Many times you have to address something personal, like what happened to their vacation requests? Are you going to approve it or not? Before they decide to work with you. Encourage them. Always encourage them. Even if it's not quite 100% of what you want, give them that plus. And make it sincere. Make it sincere. They want success, so help them get there as well. Teachability, that's what we are. We are teachers in our own right. Not just leaders, but teachers. We keep leading, we keep learning. Teachability. Leaders face the danger of contentment with the status quo. Some of us are that way right now. After all, a leader possesses influence, but through influence, you need to learn. You need to be there, educate yourself. Your growth determines who you are, definitely. Who you are determines who you are attracted to. Teachability requires us to admit we don't know everything. I sometimes go through the day in my workplace and I made an error in the schedule and I didn't give someone a day off. I had scheduled them 7 days. I do apologize immediately. And they're very nice, but I said, no, it's my fault. It's not hard to say I'm sorry and thank you at the end of the day. When I see that they have achieved what I was hoping they achieved, like it was Monday, I gave them 20 rooms to do with 5 checkouts. That's really hard when they spend about an hour and 45 minutes to do 1 checkout. You do the math. They should have been there for 10 hours. But they managed to achieve it in 8 hours. I was there at the door to thank them. And they said, no, Mom, that's okay. No, it's not okay. I want you to know how much I appreciate the work that you do. And the only way you can feel that way is if you understand the job and know the passion of the job. You have to understand their techniques. You have to understand how long it takes to do a checkout room versus an occupied room. Better understanding there rather than how to do the survey and do the spreadsheet. That comes way later. Understand what they do, and that will help you to develop your leadership skills. So try something new. Go out of your way today to do something different that will stretch you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Go back to your office and see if you can make this change happen. And see if the employees will notice that, wow, they came back from the meeting and they got something out of it. Qualities leaders possess: positive, they're role models, sensitive and caring mentors, simplify bureaucracy, accept challenges for the future. Okay, when we talked about the past 21 qualities that Maxwell had discussed in his book, I would like to strongly encourage you to get this book and read through the rest. I think it is valuable for leaders and non-leaders. Okay, we talked about leadership, but what about leadership within IEHA? We need to be positive. We need to serve as role models. Both of us, Rose and I, have been with the association for numerous years. And it's time for us to follow. We have been leading for many years, but we want to make sure you know that we are mentoring you, that we are here to give you not only what the job entails or what the rules and bylaws say that you should be doing as the president or vice president, etc. We need to give you our knowledge, our experiences. Because with that, then you know the expectations. Many times we put people in roles and we say, you can do it, easy. All you have to do is do meetings, send your reports in. Not true. There are some stories behind that you need to share with the individuals, which is what I'm hoping to do with Miss Diane. Share the little things that came about as I took the treasurer for the last 2 terms. Those are some of the things that you need to share. Not so much what's written, but the unwritten information. You are someone that is sensitive and caring. You have to be, because you're taking on this big role and people depend on you for guidance. Willing to mentor, I mentioned how to do that. Keep it simple, KIS, keep it simple, so others will follow. Accept challenges for the future. Not only look for today, look ahead and see what there is down the road for our chapter, what we need to do with the overall IEHA organization.